right, here we go. We're going to be doing part 2 via Far above the world, planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. That's David Bowie in Space Oddity, and starts Via's chapter. This chapter is called A Tour of the Galaxy. August is the sun. Me and Mom and Dad are planets orbiting around the sun. The rest of our family and friends are asteroids and comets floating around the planets orbiting the sun. The only celestial body that doesn't orbit August, the sun, is Daisy, the dog. And that's only because to her little doggy eyes, August's face doesn't look very different from any other human's face. To Daisy, all of our faces look alike, as flat and pale as the moon. I'm used to the way this universe works. I've never minded it because it's all I've ever known. I've always understood that August is special and has special needs. If I was playing too loudly and he was trying to take a nap, I knew I'd have to play something else because he needed his rest after some procedure or other had left him weak and in pain. If I wanted Mom and Dad to watch me at soccer, I knew that 9 out of 10 times they'd miss it because they were busy shuttling August to speech therapy, to physical therapy, or a new specialist, or a surgery. Mom and Dad would always say I was the most understanding little girl in the world. I don't know about that, just that I understood there was no point in complaining. I've seen August after his surgeries, his little face bandaged up and swollen, his body full of IVs and tubes to keep him alive. After you've seen someone else go through all that, it kind of feels crazy to complain over not getting a toy you've asked for, or your mom missing your school play. I knew this even when I was 6 years old. No one ever told me. I just knew. So I've gotten used to not complaining, and I've gotten used to not bothering Mom with the little stuff. I've gotten used to figuring out things on my own, how to put toys together, how to organize my life so I don't miss friends' birthday parties, how to stay on top of my schoolwork so I never fall behind in class. I've never asked for help with my homework, never needed reminding to finish a project or to study for a test. If I was having troubles with a subject in school, I'd go home and study it until I figure it out on my own. I taught myself how to convert fractions into decimal points by going online. I've done every school project pretty much by myself. When Mom and Dad ask me how things are going at school, I always just say, good, even when it hasn't been so good. My worst day, worst fall, worst headache, worst bruise, worst cramp, worst mean thing anybody could always said compared to what August has gone through is nothing. This isn't me being noble, by the way. It's just the way I know it is. And this is the way it's always been for me, for the little universe of us. But this year there seems to be a shift in the cosmos. The galaxy is changing. Planets are falling out of alignment. Alright, this one's called Before August. I honestly don't remember my life before August came into it. I look at pictures of me as a baby, and I see Mom and Dad smiling so happy holding me. I can't believe how much younger they looked back then. Dad was this hipster dude, and Mom was this cute Brazilian fashionista. There's one shot of me at my third birthday. Dad's right behind me while Mom's holding the cake with 3 candles lit on it. And in the back, I could see Tata and Papa, Grands, Uncle Ben, Aunt Kate, and Uncle Poe. Everybody's looking at me, and I'm looking at the cake. You can see in the picture how I really was the first child, the first grandchild, the first niece. I don't remember what it felt like, of course, but I can see it plain as can be in these pictures. I don't remember the day they brought August home from the hospital. I don't remember what I said or what I did or felt when I saw him for the first time, though everybody has a story about it. Apparently, I just looked at him for a long time without saying anything at all, and then I finally says, "It doesn't look like Lily." That was the name of the doll Grands had given me when Mom was pregnant so I could practice being a big sister. It was one of those dolls that are incredibly lifelike, and I had carried it everywhere for months, changing its diapers, feeding it. I'm told I even made a baby sling for it. The story goes that after my initial reaction to August, it only took a few minutes, according to Grant, and a few days, according to Mom, before I was all over him, kissing him, cuddling him, baby talking to him. After that, I never so much as touched or mentioned Lily ever again. The next chapter is called Seeing August. I never used to see August the way other people saw him. I knew he didn't look exactly normal, but I really didn't understand why strangers seemed to be shocked when they saw him. Horrified, sickened, scared. There are so many words I can use to describe the looks on people's faces. And for a long time I didn't get it. I was just mad. Mad when they stared. Mad when they looked away. So, "What are you looking at?" I'd say to people, even grown-ups. Then, when I was about 11, I went to stay with Grands in Montauk for 4 weeks while August was having his big jaw surgery. This is the longest I've been away from home, and I have to say it was so amazing to suddenly be free of all the stuff that made me so mad. No one stared at Grands and me when we went to buy groceries. No one pointed at us. No one even noticed us. Grands was one of those grandmothers who do everything with their grandkids. She'd run to the ocean if I asked her to, even if she had nice clothes on. She would let me play with her makeup and didn't mind if I used it on her face to practice my face painting skills. She'd take me for ice cream even if we hadn't even eaten dinner yet. She'd draw chalk horses on the sidewalk in front of her house. One day, while we were walking back from town, I told her I wished I could live with her forever. I was so happy there. I think it might have been the best time of my life. Coming home after 4 weeks felt kind of strange at first. Remembering very vividly stepping through the door and seeing August running over to welcome me home, and for this tiny fraction of a moment I saw him not the way I've always seen him, but the way other people saw him. In only a flash, an instant while he was hugging me, so happy that I was home. But it surprised me because I've never seen him like that before. And I've never felt that I was feeling before either. A feeling I hated myself for having at that moment. But as he was kissing me with all his heart, all I could see was the drool coming down his chin. And suddenly there I was, like all those people who would stare and look away. Horrified, sickened, scared. Thankfully, that only lasted for a second. The moment I heard August laugh his raspy little laugh, it was all over. Everything was back to the way it was before. But it had opened a door for me for a little bit, and a little peephole. And on the other side of that peephole, there were 2 Augusts. The one I saw blindly, and the other people saw. I think the only person in the world I could have explained any of this was to Grands, but I didn't. It was too hard to even explain over the phone. I thought maybe when she came for Thanksgiving I'd tell her what I felt. But just 2 months after I stayed with her in Montauk, my beautiful, beautiful Grands died. It was so completely out of the blue. Apparently, she had checked herself into the hospital because she was feeling kind of sick to her stomach. Mom and I drove out to see her, but it was a 3-hour drive from where we live, and by the time we got to the hospital, Gran was gone. A heart attack, they told us, just like that. It's so strange how one day you can be on this earth, and then the next day you're not. Where'd she go? Will I really ever see her again, or is this just a fairy tale? You see movies and TV shows where people receive horrible news in hospitals, but for us, with all the many trips to the hospital at August, there had always been good outcomes. What I remember the most from the day Grands died is Mom literally crumbling to the floor in a slow, heaving sobs, holding her stomach like somebody had just punched her in the stomach. I've never, ever seen Mom like that. Never heard sounds like that come out of her. Even through all August surgeries, Mom has always put on a brave face. On my last day in Montauk, Grands and I had watched the sunset on the beach. We had taken a blanket to sit on, but it had gotten chilly, so we wrapped it around us and cuddled while we talked until there wasn't even a sliver of sun left on the ocean. And then Grands told me she had a secret to tell me. She loved me more than anybody else in the world. Even August? I had to ask. She smiled and stroked my hair, like she was thinking about what to say. I love Augie very much, she said softly. I still remember her Portuguese accent and the way she rolled her R's. But he has many angels looking over him already, Via. And I want you to know that you have me looking out for you. Okay? I want you to know that you're my number one. You are my... And she looked out in the ocean and spread her hands out like she was trying to smooth the waves. You are my everything. You understand me, Via. I understood her, and I knew why she said it was a secret. Grandmothers are not supposed to have favorites. Everybody knows that. But after she died, I held on to that secret and let it cover me like a blanket.